don't really know how to play, but that doesn't really matter. I just wanted to bring that out and play a little tune just to say hello to all of the ancestral spirits that are here with us today. Today is the Day of the Dead. It's Dia de los Muertos. And what does that even mean? What is that even about? Today, all around the world, people are bringing out food and flowers and candles and decorating these incredibly beautiful ofrendas to really honor the memory of those who have passed. And some that passed recently, they put pictures and poems and stories. And then those who have passed long, 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 long before that perhaps we don't even remember anymore. And it really is a day dedicated to the memory of those that have been here before us, the ones that created us, the reason that we're here, and the reason that we get to celebrate life. So Dia de los Muertos really is not just a celebration of death, but it is a celebration of life as well. And bringing like the candles in the dark and the bright orange flowers, bringing those out into the night where they can really just illuminate and make the nighttime bright. And it really is just truly a symbol of when things get really difficult in our lives, how can we continue to smile? How can we continue to be strong and be brave and be courageous and be loving? How can we continue to be loving even when we are confronted with things that really aren't loving? So how can we continue to be strong? And this right here is that marriage of the dark and the light and bringing it together into a day where we can actually enjoy it. Because this is a day to sing, to remember, to tell stories, and sit around beautiful illuminated places and not be afraid of the dark. There's nothing to be afraid of in the dark. Nothing at all. So with that, I figured we would just get right into the reading today. So I figured we would bring out a couple different cards. These ones really feel like the ones today. I love these. These are just, they're so soft and silky. But so the intention of the reading is, first of all, to hear the blessing that's coming through from all of our well and healed ancestors, the ones that have walked this earthly life and grew and learned and loved, and to hear what wisdom they have for us today. And then also, what is it that we are ready to fully release out into the night, out into the dark, and that it can then just re-emerge with source, with what maybe we call God, with heaven? Because if you think about the tradition of this day, it is an honoring of, let's say, your like grandparents that have passed, and we don't want them to be stuck here. We want them to know that they are ready to move on into the mystery of whatever comes next. Like, none of us know what comes next. So to go back to that place, and it's kind of interesting where it is a celebration of life and it's a celebration of death, that we don't know where we came from. We were born, we manifested into this earthly reality, and we don't know the mystery of where did we come from, really? And then where do we go? We don't know. We don't know where we go next. And so I wanted to basically do this reading of a blessing and a releasing of, anything that is ready and has been waiting to go back to source light frequency, to go back to, if we want to call it God, if we want to call it heaven, if we want to call it, uh, you know, whatever you want to call it, Valhalla, right? So letting those things really just be honored for what they are, and then to truly let them go. And so it is kind of like a big cleaning up, cleaning, releasing, so that we're lighter and brighter. And a lot of these things that we're releasing has a lot to do with us being confused or fearful or depressed or worried, or, all of those myriad of things. All of those are tied back to us having fear, and that we can actually let those little seeds of fear go and be a little lighter on our path forward, especially going into the winter time where it just gets cozier and darker. So let's really just like illuminate our bright flame inside, and know that we're loved. So, all right. Oh, we'll shuffle with intention, and we will just tap into our higher guidance. This is just the divine spark of our own selves, because we each have a divine spark. And really just tuning in to that heart frequency, our heart, our gentle beating heart, which never fails us, guides us, and is with us to our very last day. Our heart is with us the very moment that we're born, conceived, and it's with us until the very, very last moment of our life. So we'll just tap into that and hear what we need to hear. Here we go. Wow, interesting. So this is the blessing. Blessing is sacred sexuality. That's a pretty big message. And I love this. Sacred sexuality, it has a lot to do with that creation process of, if you think about the cycle of, of what our sacral chakra is about. It is both creation and destruction. Our cycles are ever moving through, releasing what doesn't serve through, our actual physical menses, our cycles, and releasing anything that's inside and that has been accumulated in our body and our blood, and letting that go. And then also creating what is new. But this is also creating what is new with partners, with other. Sacred sexuality is that embracing of the other and merging with our divine opposite. So think about that as a blessing coming in today, of actually honoring the fact that we are sacred beings, and that we don't need to hide our sexuality. We don't need to repress it, shame it, judge it. That we can actually let that sacred part of ourselves just be what it is, and just honor that piece of ourselves, so that we can be a whole being. Like, I'm really seeing this as a whole being, that, those pieces of ourselves that have not really been honored, they don't really get to come out and play, because we're afraid of what people will say, of what people will think, all of those things. But it really is time to let the fear just roll off the shoulders, not care what people think or what they say or what they're going to tell their friends. If you are standing in this center, you are standing in your wholeness. When you're standing in your wholeness, you are standing in your truth. and just allowing that to be what it is without being afraid. So the other thing I'm kind of thinking is many of our ancestors were not given permission to be sexual beings. That was very taboo, continues to be taboo in some places, where really owning your sacred sexuality is still something forbidden. And honestly, to that, I just say BS. Like, it's part of us, it's part of who we are, it's human nature, and it's a huge part of our power. Without our sacred sexuality, we don't get to create. We don't paint, we don't write, we don't sing, we don't dance, we don't create movies, we don't express ourselves. Sacred sexuality is us expressing ourselves and expressing what is beautiful about ourselves. Just think of all of that art that has been hidden in the shadows for ages, belly dancing. Just think, like all of these different art pieces that ages ago would have seen as absolute, just sacrilegious, crazy. Oh my God. Oh, the shame, the outrage. But the truth is that that is us. That is our power. And let that come out and play. And do it in a way that is true to your heart center, is true to your wholeness. If it feels good when you create this thing, then it is true. But also, if it feels, if something's off when you're creating something, question it, ask it, look at it in the eye, find out what is it that it's actually asking you. When you feel those little bits of, oh man, I don't know how to play this. Everybody's gonna laugh at me. I'm recording myself. I'm gonna feel like an idiot playing my ukulele. I don't know how to play. Nobody's ever taught me. Okay, put that down. Who cares? Who really cares? There's no one else inside this body but you. And if that piece of yourself wants to come out and dance and be joyful and express itself and make a fool of itself and just to do it for the absolute enjoyment of it, then let it out. Let it out. Let it be free. So beautiful, beautiful message from the ancestors right there. And the ancestors are not something that's outside of us. They're here. They're in your DNA. My ancestors gave me this hair, gave me these hands, gave me these eyes. My ancestors are right here. And your ancestors are right here too. So just call in the ones that are going to feed you, that are going to take care of you, that are going to nurture you. Call in the ancestors that are absolutely unconditionally loving and have already been through the muck of this human existence and have gotten through the other side and actually are here to help us be stronger, wiser, more loving individuals. It's important to do that. And that was a lesson actually that I learned not too long ago. So, oh, and here, what we are releasing. Oh, so I actually feel this reading is very, very entwined. This is totally entwined because look at what we have. Sacred sexuality and then get creative. I mean, really? I mean, the ancestors are being absolutely clear, absolutely clear. Get creative. So, what will you create? What will you create? Something beautiful, something meaningful, perhaps even an heirloom that you can pass down the generations to the next people that come from you. And because one day you too will be an ancestor. And hopefully we'll sit around and remember you. Light you candles, bring flowers to an altar, and sing the song perhaps that you wrote, or read the book, or read the poem, or watch the interview that you had with another person, or read a weird article that you wrote. Doesn't really matter. Or perhaps this Get Creative is just for you and yourself by your just a personal thing. A journal entry, a scribble, or just a whisper into the wind, your prayer for what you want to grow into. Because look at these little sparkles growing, flapping, like all these iridescent little pieces just flying off into the wind. When we get creative, we really set our spirits free. We let our spirits shine. And if we're brave enough, we let other people see it shine. So, and that's something that takes time and patience with yourself to get through the little bits that need to be released. And you know what needs to be released because you can feel it as a little tug or a little guilt or shame or, something around. When you have that feeling, you know that it needs to be released. And release it with love, with care, with gratitude, because these things were here to teach us, to protect us at one time. All of these little bits were useful at one time. And as we get older, we just outgrow the reasons that we had to put those in place. So it takes reflection and dedication. So get creative. Get creative. And really let that little piece of expression shine, come out and dance in the dark. Okay, let's go ahead and find a crystal for us. A crystal that will help anchor this. I feel like the reading is crystal clear, crystal clear. So, oh, I feel it. There it is. Okay. Again, this was in our last reading, guys. Morganite. Morganite. So again, it is actually, and I now remember this. I said I didn't have morganite, and fooled ya. I've got just these tiny little pieces that are in this woven. That's actually a little creation. I just braided some little beautiful embroidery thread and beaded some morganite into it with love. So yeah, and now it's a little decoration because it's just so lovely. So morganite, guys, this right here will get you straight into your heart so that you know what you want to create and you craft it with love. And not just love from right now, from love from ages ago and then all the way going forward. To really step into why you're creating this. Reflect a little bit on why does it bring you joy to bring this thing into the world? I'm even hearing for some, this could be like a physical, actual baby. Like, bring this creation into the world with absolute love, with every piece of your being. Really just let your heartbeat go into your sacral chakra. Let your sacral chakra hear your heartbeat. Yeah, I love it. So maybe some of you weren't here with me last week when I read Morganite. So I'll read it again. So it says, breathe into your heart, Morganite advises. From this space, you can expand into unexplored parts of your being, like your sacral chakra, connecting with worlds both within and around you in new ways. With your open heart, you can dive deep into your relationships, both with the human world and the non-human world, our ancestors. Finding facets that didn't exist until Morganite helped you breathe them to life. Stretch into your fullness, Morganite whispers. From this place, the things that are not you get slowly crowded out by the truths of your soul. This is not a quick process, Morganite knows. It's the work of years, of lifetimes. But it's the work worth doing for the surety and peace of being wholly yourself. And just, I love that piece of it's a slow process that, our ancestral lines, if we really think about the people that lived through their different stories, they carry such bravery and such passion to keep on going, as well as all the challenges. None of our ancestral lines come without a fair amount of baggage. And that baggage really was because they didn't maybe have the tools to get through whatever it was that was there present for them. Perhaps they lived in a time where being outspoken about the way you feel was really not accepted, or there were radical ways of thought that honestly got you into a lot of trouble, real hot water if you expressed your thought. But things are starting to change, things are starting to shift. We have a lot of people doing this unraveling of old traumas and old baggage that no longer serves, that no longer is aligned with love. And that's the way forward. The way forward will be with love. So I don't, actually, I'm going to pull an animal and then I want to get a word, with these. So here we go. Let's get a totem animal for us. And I love calling on animal spirit because they are absolutely connected to source energy, to love. If you think about any animal out there, they're just them. They're just who they are. They don't have any fears or worries or regrets, or that three-legged dog running on the beach is so happy, is just like so excited to just be alive. So let's get an animal. I guess this is it. Oh, this is really sweet. Look at this. We got the honeybee. The honeybee. I love the honeybee. The honeybee, it just, to me, this is one of the most sacred little animals out there. It works so hard, but it brings such sweetness, and it pollinates. It creates more flower. It really helps. It helps bring beauty into the world. Without the honeybees, regeneration of flowers wouldn't happen. Honey wouldn't happen. And that soft, golden, beautiful light, it really does feel like liquid sunlight. And so bringing that sunlight, that liquid sunlight into the dark, into this time, this cozy time of year where we're looking more inward and we're doing maybe some deeper work on ourselves, deeper reflection. We kind of start to hibernate a little bit or feel the need to hibernate, even if maybe our external lives don't permit that. But our body is still asking us to please go inside and reflect. And because the time of year is just geared for that. So the honeybee is here to help the cycle move along and to really call in the sweetness, call in what is sweet and what is nurturing to you. And it says, navigate by the sun. And one of the things that I've really been really strongly leaning into is the sun within us, the sun within our heart, that it is connected to, I mean, not just the sun out there, but going back even further to like the central sun, the cosmic central sun. And the wisdom of the beehive, how everything is all connected, interconnected in these honeycomb lattice structures. And the honeycomb, the hexagon, is a very sacred symbol in like sacred geometry. It it is one of the symbols that houses the seed of life, the flower of life, the tree of life. And so really the honeycomb holds the mysteries of the universe. And I mean, just think of what resides in hexagonal structures, crystals is a hexagonal structure. And these like crystals are like solidified source light grown over millions of years. Sweetness in a hexagonal structure. And there's so many of these examples out in nature. So just take a look around and see what structures out there that you notice are hexagonal in nature. So, all right. So now we'll just get a final message, a final word from our most trusted and loving ancestors who really just want all of us to be well and healed and loved. Okay, this is beautiful. Vitality. Oh, and realize I did not read the bee. So before we read vitality, I'm going to read the bee. And here that picture is much bigger. Okay. Okay, the bee, honeybee. Honeybee flies a zigzag path, searching for patches of pollen. When she finds one, she flies home to her hive, where she dances to let the others know the pollen's location. Honeybee is efficient in this aerial charade, showing with her body the exact angle that the sun hits the pollen patch. Her sisters triangulate the location so that they can join the feast. Bee's internal compass is incredibly accurate. She can find the sun even on a cloudy day. The sun has traditionally represented expansive, moving energies, our passions and our ability to make those passions manifest in the world. When life is feeling cloudy and dull, call on the honeybee to help you navigate toward joy. During dark times, she reminds you that clouds pass and your passion and purpose will be revealed again. So the honeybee is really saying, stay true to your joy, and that your joy is your compass. And it really, really, really doesn't matter what anyone around you has to say about that. If it is something that brings you joy and you know that it is coming from your heart and not fear, then do it. And do it with full passion, with full permission. Give yourself permission to create this beautiful thing. And don't let anyone hold you back. Because you are more powerful than that. You're way more powerful than that. Vitality. Protect your energy. Invite life, affirming relationships. Release energy vampires. Honor your body's requests. Vitality. That paired with all of these cards, sacred sexuality, honor that piece of your puzzle. There is nothing to be shamed or feared or repressed about your sexual being. That is a part of you and something to be honored and loved. Get creative. Whoops. Hey, hey. Look at the back of my card. Aren't they pretty? Get creative. Let that expansive energy that is bubbling up from your sacral chakra, let it come out. Let it be birthed. Let it actually manifest into this reality. Let it actually just take on a life of its own. Get creative and do it for the sheer joy of it. Get out there and play. But protect your energy. Protect your life force. Pull a cloak of golden energy around you. Really feel that you are safe, that you are protected and you are held. You are held by your guardian angels, whatever you want to call these, your ancestors who love you, that unconditionally love you, that will help you see through the fear and the blockages. Just know that they are there. You are also protected by the relationships that make you seen, heard, respected, the relationships that fill you with joy, the relationships that love and honor who you are today, relationships that really understand who you are, even if you guys have hiccups now and then. If you can get through the hiccups with communication and respect, then you know that that is a relationship to keep. And you'll know the energy vampires. Release the energy vampires. When you are drained after a conversation with someone, if you are angry after a conversation with someone, if you feel at any time people that come into your space and you just feel depleted, these are not people to be feared, by the way. There's nothing to fear. All of this is information. This is information that is vital. Vitality, vital. Information that is crucial to your well-being. And so, if there are people in your environment or situations in your environment that are energetically draining, then maybe if you can release those relationships, great. If these are relationships that you need to kind of unpack and see it through and try to, get through it, then start to build in a protective bubble. Call in the things that will keep you safe and keep you aligned with your heart, even when you are in interactions with people that drain you. I hope this makes sense. These things, people practice a long time learning how to like energetic boundaries and nonviolent communication, things like this. And it takes a long time to learn and uh, and a long time to master. But one step in front of the other to get more and more solid in your center, in your heart. And then when you are in your center, in your heart, the energetic vampiric energy just will dissipate and it won't even matter. And you can come up to these people that have ruffled your feathers in the past and it just doesn't bother you anymore. It just doesn't do any damage anymore. So, but that comes with time and dedication and honoring who you are and honoring your heart and honoring your own freaking respect. Just respect yourself and love yourself. So, vitality. It's a really strong message. This is probably one of the strongest messages I've got from the ancestors so far. And I really have to say thank you. Thank you to them. Thank you to giving us such clear and very spot on advice, especially navigating all these tricky situations because we are in a time of change. We are in a time of having everything swept under the rug for centuries, and that rug can't hold any more dust bunnies. It really just can't. The rug is done being a hiding place for these things. You know, that closet, just you can't stuff any more into the closet. The closet has lost its door. Everything is popping out. But these messes need to be cleaned up. And here, if you're still watching with me, it means that you're here to do some of this work to help clean this up. But just clean up what's yours. Don't clean up what's. This is why we release stuff from our ancestrals' past, because we're only just in charge of ourselves. So, with that, my friends, a little recommendation for the message, maybe a little help would be to do like an ancestral bath. And one of the practices that I absolutely love is to actually run a bath, fill it with, the things that make me happy, smells like essential oils, bath salts, whatever you want. But then I very intentionally do a washing of my entire self, head to toe, with the intention of releasing everything of each generation. So the first generation is you and your siblings. The second generation, the second generation would be you and your parents. The third, you and your grandparents. The fourth, you and your great grandparents. And then it keeps going. The great great grandparents. I'm going to lose track of all of this, but it goes back 7 generations. Going back seven generations. Goodness, me on the camera trying to see what I'm doing and talk at the same time. But washing 7 generations going back. And then when you are all done and that water is so full of everything that you have washed from the 7 generations, release it with honor and love into the drain. Just really watch that water go down the drain and thank the water who holds our emotions, who is aligned with the moon and the phases of the moon, the ocean, the tides, Mama Kia. So really just thank this beautiful goddess energy, this deeply divine feminine energy of water, of yin, and let that be released from your body and down the drain with love and respect. Everything wants to be respected, even the things that are meant to leave. But do it firmly. Do it because you need that. Don't do it from fear. So, that being said, I hope everyone has a restful and beautiful Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. So, I think that's it for the reading today. I hope to see you back next time, and we will find out what on earth we'll be doing next time. Every Tuesday is a big surprise. So, all right, all my love. Bye, everybody. Let's see. End the meeting.